Good evening, I'm Mark Spain.
And I'm Susan Parks. Big news from Waco tonight. Authorities say they have identified the body of cult leader David Koresh, and they say they have some startling evidence.
It was supposed to be just for fun, but an air show becomes a horror show for California spectators.
And the deal is done, but will it hold? Reaction to the Bosnian peace plan next.
You're watching WTHR, Channel 13, Indianapolis. Live from Indiana's News Channel with news for Indianapolis, Marion, Carmel, and all of Central Indiana. This is News Channel 13 Tonight.
The suspense is over. The mystery is solved. Authorities say they have identified the body of Waco cult leader David Koresh.
But with one question answered, many others remain.
It's our top story tonight. One big question: just how did the head of the Branch Davidians die? Authorities in Waco don't yet have an official answer for that, but they were able to explain to reporters how they identified Koresh.
There was extensive studies done with regards to the molds of his mouth. Also x-rays, body x-rays in particular too, in regards to the wound that Mr. Koresh had received during the initial confrontation on February the 28th. The x-rays that were performed by the TCMC indicated a wound such as was described by Mr. Koresh.
Even though his body is charred, Koresh may have died from a new bullet wound they found in the front of his head. Authorities will not speculate if Koresh committed suicide or was shot by someone else. Meantime, Koresh's body is only the 6th to be publicly identified. All had gunshots, but dozens more pulled out of the compound remain.
What you are about to see is the same horror witnessed by hundreds of thousands of spectators at a California air show. Everyone attending the show thought they were going to see just another air show routine. But what happened during this stunt was anything but routine. The pilot, flying the Korean War vintage jet fighter, lost control of the F-86 and it crashed, bursting into a fireball. Pieces of the jet skidded 5,000 feet.
It was making a loop. When it went down like this, it was like going real low. And it just blew up when it got down.
By flying debris, federal investigators are on the scene, and believe it or not, despite the crash, the air show continued. In the Midwest, a chemical fire mars the sky with thick black smoke. An auto paint shop containing over 100 barrels of flammable chemicals caught fire. Mixed with fire, witnesses say the chemicals produced over a half-dozen explosions. Firefighters were helpless against the blaze. They simply tried to cool the remaining barrels so they wouldn't blow. Authorities report no injuries.
Fire of a different kind continues to rain down on Sarajevo. That despite a possible step toward peace. Leaders of all the combatants in Bosnia signed a new peace treaty today. But even though the leader of Bosnian Serbs has signed, his makeshift parliament must still ratify that agreement. Some Europeans are leery of President Clinton's recommendation for Allied airstrikes against Serb target in the Balkans. One local foreign expert says airstrikes won't stop the killing. The News Channel's Kevin Bradley reports.
The signing of the peace plan for Bosnia is welcome news, but some say the Serbs are talking peace because the U.S. is talking military action.
We will judge what their intent is by their actions and not their words.
Even before the ink is dry on the UN peace plan, the shelling continues in Sarajevo. And it appears the only way military action can be averted is if the Serbs hold true to their word.
What really counts is what happens on the ground, whether the killing stops, whether the shelling stops, whether aid is permitted to get through.
Hudson Institute foreign policy expert Jim Wheeler believes limited Allied airstrikes can slow the pace of the ethnic cleansing in Bosnia, but the risks are great.
One of the risks you have is that the act of bombing will stiffen the opposition and you'll continue to move forward. You start bombing the Serbs, every UN peacekeeping troop might become a target.
Wheeler says the terrain of the Balkans is perfect for guerrilla warfare, and to send in ground troops would be a tragic mistake.
It would be messy, there'd be high potential loss of life.
Wheeler says the Serbs have a close relationship with the former Soviet Republic, and if the shelling starts, the U.S. relationship with the Soviet Republic could be strained.
We may get on the other side of an issue with Russia again, something we're also trying to avoid while Yeltsin is trying to deal with this very, very difficult internal transition problem.
Kevin Bradley, WTHR, Indiana's News Channel 13.
Several U.S. leaders have suggested that the acceptance of the UN peace plan by the Serbian leader is actually a ploy to avert military intervention threatened by the Clinton administration.
Hunger is a byproduct not only of war, but of poverty. And around the country today, a renewed effort to stop the hunger. In Indianapolis, it's a new twist on an old tradition, Sunday dinner. For a mere $60, Hoosiers enjoyed a gourmet luncheon at the Radisson, Keystone at the Crossing.
We're raising money in Indianapolis to fund a perishable food pickup program through Gleaner's Food Bank, which will allow trucks to go around to restaurants, employee cafeterias, places like that, and pick up leftover food and take it down to the missions where it's really needed.
Our Tom Cochran was among those enjoying the tasty treats. Nationwide, the Share Our Strength program hopes to raise $3.5 million. The stalemate at the State House is affecting IPS employees. In order to make budget, 177 employees have been given pink slips. That's 27 more than IPS had estimated it would have to serve. IPS Superintendent Cheryl Gilbert.
The others are positions that we noticed because we aren't sure what, one, the state monies will be, and two, the federal monies for Chapter 1, Chapter 2 magnet and options will be. And so we're waiting for both those numbers to come in.
30 of those who received notices hold positions that were reduced in the board's budget plan. Gilbert hopes when the state and federal monies are figured in, that IPS will be able to bring back many of those who received notices. Despite the recently announced cutbacks, IPS administrators are being praised tonight for making inner-city schools a priority. Since its construction 58 years ago, George Washington Carver School, number 87, has not had a gym. That's all changed now. Today, staff and teachers dedicated the new state-of-the-art gymnasium. They say it's time that inner-city schools receive the funding they need to continue to provide quality education.
Lawmakers haven't decided where school funding fits into the state budget picture, but another issue is in the way: the governor's proposal to tax hospitals. But Bill Hussong reports the signals from the governor indicate he may be changing course in the wake of last week's legislative gridlock.
The Indiana legislature failed to avoid a special session for one simple reason. Republicans who control the state Senate are adamant in their opposition to Governor Bayh's hospital tax proposal to close part of a projected gap in health care spending for the poor.
There's a case of Potomac fever that's broken out in the majority caucus in the state Senate.
He has gotten so far out for a tax increase that he won't consider anything but a tax increase. And the result is that he's forced us into a special session.
If you were listening to the governor closely Thursday night, it sure sounds like he's close to giving up the hospital tax as a means of raising roughly $200 million.
Asking this special interest group to pay their fair share will be very difficult to accomplish.
So does that mean the governor begins the special session process with a new position, one that does not include the tax on Hoosier hospitals?
I'm convinced that that is a fair and it's too early to say, is the answer. It's too early to say.
Maybe so, but we do know that the final two offers made to Republicans did not include a hospital tax, but rather offered other revenue-raising proposals. Bill Hussong, WTHR Indiana's News Channel 13.
Just ahead, police are trying to find the suspect they believe slashed a Nora woman's throat earlier this weekend.
And an infamous Florida address is up for sale. How much would you pay for a home that one family would like to forget?
The Men's Warehouse opens in Indianapolis.
If our substantially lower prices on men's designer clothing don't impress you, our excellent service will. I guarantee it.
Lafayette Square on 38th Street in Castleton in front of the mall and in Greenwood across from Greenwood Park Mall.
There's my rug that I went to another store and it was twice the price. That is it right there, the same exact rug. I have a Walmart bathroom upstairs, downstairs. Then I have my rug down here, downstairs with my computer stand and my bookshelf. All the girls at work, they tease me all the time. I say, guess what great deal I found? They call me Queen Walmart.
Now on video cassette, 2 Academy Award winners, Kathy Bates and Jessica Tandy. Mary Stuart Masterson and Mary Louise Parker in the heartwarming comedy that America loves, Fried Green Tomatoes, now on video cassette for just $19.98.
The person who slashed a young woman's throat Saturday morning in Nora remains on the loose tonight.
When 23-year-old Carla Stotts arrived at the Nora Pines Apartments yesterday, police say someone attacked her and cut her throat. Stotts managed to make it to her apartment where she collapsed in her sister's arms. The murder has stunned residents in the Nora community. Police say Stotts had been arrested earlier this year in connection with the shooting of an East Side man. Right now, however, there is no motive behind yesterday's attack. And Indianapolis police are trying to track down another killer who, as of tonight, has eluded capture. Police say 20-year-old Jody Dixon shot and killed Henry Harlan at a North Side liquor store Friday. Harlan had scolded Dixon for cutting in line. Police say when Harlan left the store, Dixon waited outside and gunned him down.
Authorities need your help. Police continue to search for the killer of a young woman on the city's North Side. Here's tonight's Crime Stoppers report. It's Monday, March 22nd, 1993. Carmen Van Huss and a man are talking and laughing as they enter her home at the Turtle Creek Apartments. It's approximately 11 p.m. Neighbors of Van Huss report that 2 hours later at 1 a.m. from inside her apartment, they hear a woman screaming, followed by fighting and struggling noises. After about 10 minutes of silence, the next noise heard is that of footsteps quickly walking down the hall. 2 days later, on Wednesday, March 24th, Van Huss's father went to check on his daughter, who he hadn't heard from. And after knocking on the door without a response, he opens the unlocked door only to find his daughter's body lying on the floor just outside the kitchen. She had been stabbed to death. Van Huss worked at the Pizza Hut in Nora. Police believe she met with someone after work on her way home that Monday night. Police seek the identity of that person.
The victim was known to frequent both the Broad Ripple and Nora areas on the city's north side. Marion County homicide officials hope to talk to someone that may have seen her or known who she was with on Monday, March 22nd after 10 p.m.
If you have any information on this crime, contact Crime Stoppers at 637-2323 or 1-800-92-ALERT. Your anonymous tip could be worth a cash reward of up to $1,000. Carmen Van Huss died from multiple stab wounds. The type of weapon used is unknown and police have not determined a motive. Hamilton County Police are showing off their new home for juvenile offenders. The county's new juvenile center opens tomorrow with cells for 18. Estimated cost for the building, $1 million. County officials say the state-of-the-art facility will allow them to better meet the needs of young offenders.
Newsweek magazine reports the Kennedy family is selling its Palm Beach estate. The home, of course, was the focus of national attention when a woman accused William Kennedy Smith of raping her there last year. Kennedy Smith was later acquitted of rape charges. The Kennedys have long used the estate as a vacation spot. The asking price, nearly $4 million.
Wonder if after what happened, they get a lot of gawkers down there. And so
yeah, good point. I'm sure they
could.
They're
getting rid of it because of that. Coming up, they'll stay another day. The shuttle astronauts show how a little energy conservation can go a long way.
And Pat Carlini has the AccuWeather forecast.
How are you going to control all the weeds this wet weather's caused? It'll take 2 or 3 tillage trips to control emerged weeds. This year, use Roundup herbicide, then till. Put Roundup in your tank mix with Bullet, Microtech, or Partner to knock out emerged weeds and get residual control in one fast pass. Roundup's never cost less, so you can save money and get better control. It's not just for no-till. See your dealer now and add Roundup to your residual for a clean start and a clean finish.
It's always a good time to buy a case of Pennzoil. Now is a greater time because you can get up to $4 off on any other automotive product. Pennzoil owes you one for making them America's #1 selling motor oil. So go buy a case and save up to $4 on any other automotive product. That's Pennzoil's way of saying thank you, America.
Pick up your specially marked case of Pennzoil motor oil today. Details at participating AutoZones.
Pat Carlini's weather forecast is backed by AccuWeather, an exclusive service of NewsChannel 13.
Well, for many of you, the work week begins in 9 minutes, so we're going to give you the Monday morning forecast.
And on a wet note, too. We start getting the rain tonight. Yeah, it's been coming down pretty good this evening. More rain is on the way now for overnight tonight and into Monday. So it looks like a soggy, rainy Monday on the way. We'll show you the radar now as you take a look. There's still rain showers across the metro area up to the north, and really they've been just hit or miss and scattered all across the state tonight. You can't even follow them in one particular line. They just keep popping up wherever they feel like it, and I think that's going to be kind of the way it's going to be for tomorrow as well into the evening hours too. Take a look outside now, our live sky cam view of the city. We've had some light rain over the past couple of hours. It got a little bit heavy there a few hours ago, and it's tapering off some. Here's our conditions now at the airport. 58 degrees. Humidity is up there, 96%. The winds are out of the southeast at 12. Barometer 29.98, and that is falling. Well, we certainly had a lot of clouds move in as the day went on today, and the rain now moved in from the west. There's been a pretty good line to our west, but it just started scattering across Indiana into Ohio, Kentucky. This area getting soaked at this hour. This is a slow-moving system that's trying to make its way over to the east, and we're right in the middle of it. Take a close-up look at the cloud picture here, and you can hardly find Indiana. There we are in there, and there's a heavy mass of clouds to our west, again showing us that there's still plenty of moisture to move our way. So that's what gives us a pretty good indication of tomorrow being another rainy day, even into Tuesday. So certainly getting our spring showers in. Here's what it looks like on the national map. You can see how the rain is scattered across Indiana, but again, not in a solid line because the cold front is not quite here yet. It's just to our west. On tomorrow's map, it does get in a little bit closer, and the closer it gets, that'll be our chance to get a little more in the way of some showers and some thunderstorms and some heavy rain at times. So this is what we're looking for tomorrow, probably in the afternoon into the evening hours, some heavier rain lasting through Tuesday, and then slowly starting to clear up. You can see the dry air is to the west of us. That's going to come in for Tuesday and Wednesday and start us to warm up quite a bit by the end of the week. So as we stay in the 60s and 70s for tomorrow, all this hot air comes in for later this week, about 80 towards Thursday and Friday. Here's your forecast now for you tonight. Kind of wet out there, a couple of showers overnight still. Thunderstorms probably won't kick in until tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening, and there's still a chance that we could have some strong storms tomorrow as well. 72 during the day, though, still warm for the next few days, and then getting hot by the end of the week as we get up to 80 degrees on Thursday and Friday. So we could see some more rain through Tuesday again, and then it starts to come to an end. But boy, after that, that's 80 degrees.
This woman is so psyched about that 80 degrees. You keep saying that, and she's over here.
I know. We're moving right into summertime. You'll be sick of it by the time we get to July, I think.
By the time the humidity comes with it.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, you, Pat. Well, it's been a good news, bad news flight for the Space Shuttle Columbia. The German astronauts on board got some good news today. They can continue their experiments an extra day. Mission Control gave the go-ahead when the crew demonstrated how much energy it had saved by shutting off lights and unnecessary computers. But tonight they had to fix the ship's waste disposal system yet again.
One person is a whole lot richer tonight. The Hoosier Lottery says the winning ticket was sold in last night's Lotto cash drawing. It's worth $2 million. Could these numbers be yours? Because they ain't mine.
Nope, nor are they mine. Coming up, the Pacers have their backs against the wall. Dave Calabro has the details for you.
Plus, you'll flip for his coverage of the Holman Classic. Stay with us.
I started shopping here the day it opened because the prices are lower than a lot of places, and they're lower all the time. The best bargain was my front yard. I've got trees and things like that, and they're beautiful. They're growing real big. I mean, I always go around telling everybody how much I spent on my shrubs. My whole front yard is Walmart plants. And I thought I would always go to a nursery, but it's a good store. They serve the people. I like to come here.
When you wake up, our eyes and ears are already monitoring the metro traffic rush hour. Watch News Channel 13 Sunrise, beginning at 6 a.m. to get your day started right.
And now, a quintile analysis of urban soybean consumption. Let's start with November 1939.
Sneaking out for a quick bite? Try the Pizza Hut Lunch Buffet with 6 different pizzas every day. Crispy salads, breadsticks, pasta, all for $3.99. And you'll be back before you know it.
Now, in 1940, there was a little...
That's right. Pizza, salad, breadsticks, and pasta for only $3.99. Sneak out for a quick bite at a Pizza Hut Lunch Buffet. Available in Indianapolis and surrounding areas.
How to say so glad I married you with the Shane Diamond Anniversary Collection. Happy first anniversary. Happy 5th anniversary. Happy any anniversary. Diamond rings, diamond bracelets, and diamond necklaces. Diamonds for every year. Only from the Shane Company, Indiana's leading diamond importer.
Now you've got a friend in the diamond business. The Shane Company.
Shop Shane for sensational values on Mother's Day gifts.
They say it's not over until it's over, but it's almost over for the Pacers.
But everybody said it was going to end in 3, and
they were
it
right.
may.
Well, 900 to 1 odds. I mean,
I've taken the whole thing.
Yeah.
it's not looking good. I'm just shutting my mouth. I'm trying to be polite here because it's late, and I know Pacer fans have had enough of this. You know, they played a gutsy game, but simply ran out of juice to handle the New York Knicks in Game 2. So Indiana is just 1 game away from another early exit from the playoffs. The fans of New York, awfully rough on Malik. Look at this. Everybody had Malik's playbook today. He was taking it in stride. Pacers looked great the entire first half. Det finds Reggie Miller, and he gets 1 more. He hit for 16 before halftime. Rick Smits poured in a career postseason high 29. Pacers built a 17-point lead, but the Knicks dominated the boards, turned it into a half-court game. Mason with the jam. And the Knicks scored 30 points in the fourth quarter. Patrick Ewing in early foul trouble, but he was there at the end. Pacers fall by 10 points. Coach Bob Hill was still proud of his guys and their effort.
Well, considering we were, we were supposed to come in here and get our ass kicked twice, I think we've done pretty well, haven't we? I mean, everybody wrote us off like we weren't worth a damn, and we came in here. I think we've shown pretty well. That's my opinion. What do you guys think? I think we've done okay.
Too bad you didn't win a game, but I agree, Coach. Pacers will play for their lives. Game 3 Tuesday at Market Square. The Knicks go for the sweep. I mean, we'll give him some credit. Boston Celtics captain Reggie Lewis is out of the playoffs. You may remember he collapsed in Game 1 against Charlotte. Doctors now say that he's suffering from heart problems. Lewis will stay in the hospital at least a week. Meantime, Michael Jordan took it to the Hawks tonight. Watch the sweet baseline move. MJ. Everything was going down for Jordan. From half court at halftime. No problem. Why not? He had 29. Bulls take a 2-0 lead on Atlanta. The LA Lakers are stunning the Suns. Watch Barkley. Vlade Divac, a little nudge. Got the Lakers fired up. Vlade works the serious jam. Lakers go up 2-0 on Phoenix. LA, the serious long shot in the playoffs, and they're looking good. Knicks win by 10. Lakers win by 2 in Phoenix. Bulls up 2-0 on the Hawks. Utah evens their series with the Sonics. That one at 1 now. Hey, the Colts wrapped up minicamp. A good chance to get a good look at the crop of new draftees. Coach Marchibroda seemed happy after the 3-day workout.
We accomplished a few things for what we saw on films. We improved some of the guys who were here, that they would know what their mistakes are, what things that we want them to improve upon. I think number 2 is we added things this year so that now when they come into training camp, they'll know exactly as to what to expect in training camp. And I think number 3 is also we saw that how these new kids could possibly fit into our ball club.
And let's hope they do. Racing news, the 23rd annual Tony Holman Classic turned out to be just that, a classic sprint car race. You could tell it was going to be a wild day. In the heat number 3, Chip Thomas hits another car, and watch what happens. He was not hurt, but the car was. Feature race, Gary Cameron tangles with Brian Reed. Watch this is incredible. Flips 3 times, okay? The guy's not injured. He climbs out of the car, runs across the infield, goes looking for the other driver that was involved. He ends up running into a crew member here, and watch what happens. Pull out the boxing gloves, fellas. Here we go. Isn't that incredible? Dave Darland wins the USAC Holman Classic driving the Valvoline Special. Good for $4,000. Great day of racing in Terre Haute. IMS President Tony George there. Special thanks to Dan Laycock for that video. Well, just ahead, more racing. We'll make a pit stop at the final day of rookie orientation at the Speedway. And on the NASCAR circuit, going to show you a finish that is really hard to believe. Stay with us. Winston Cup 500 coming up next.
People still think of me as a telephone installer, but Indiana Bell is more than phone calls. It's part of Ameritech, whose vision helps me link you to a better life in exciting new ways, from voicemail to work-at-home stations. I'm even changing the way your children learn and making healthcare more accessible. So while you can still depend on me for reliable phone service,
Indiana Bell is Ameritech.
I'm touching your life in ways you never imagined.
Your link to a better life.
The high cost of healthcare, everyone has a part in keeping it down. So we took what you like about Walmart and what you want in a pharmacy and put it right inside your Walmart store. The result?
Walmart's pharmacy department.
With professional service and the low price on every prescription.
So next time, bring it here.
Or ask your doctor to call.
Walmart's pharmacy department, your full-service pharmacy, right inside Walmart. Always the low price, always.
About this Powerball game.
Look, it's real simple. You just pick 5 regular numbers and 1 Powerball number. Now, if you don't match any except the Powerball, that's okay. You still win $1. But match 1 of the 45 plus the Powerball, and you win $2. Match 2 to the 45 and the Powerball, and you get $5. Same thing with 3 of the 45, but then with the Powerball, you get $100. Same as 4 of the 45, but then the Powerball gets you $5,000. Match 5 of the 45, and then it's $100,000. But then if you get the Powerball, we're talking jackpot. Mucho dinero, lots of dough, so the farmer buys have a new personality. Got it?
If I play Powerball, I can win a lot of money?
Close enough. Powerball. Lots of money, lots of ways to win.
All right, the NASCAR boys made a stop in Birmingham. It's the Winston 500 on the old super speedway. And when you're in this racing business, it's pretty wild out there. Plenty of bumping and banging going on. Watch this crash develop. Guy can't even see and gets out of it all right. Into the race. It was a wild finish. Dale Earnhardt bumps Rusty Wallace down low as they battle for third. Watch what happens. Wallace goes sideways, grabs some air, and just like at Daytona, he goes flipping across the line. And he came out with only a broken wrist. That's the amazing part. Ernie Irvan wins the Winston 500, a broken wrist. Wow. From NASCAR to the Indy cars, the rookies had the track to themselves for one last time today. Paul Stouter caught up with a few of the new faces.
The rookies tried to take advantage of some extra practice time before rain closed the track a half hour early. There's still a lot to learn, and every lap teaches a new lesson at this stage. Wind was a factor today.
We had a pretty good headwind coming up the front straightaway, enough to where that tower was shaking back and forth. But the only place it really affects you adversely is in turns 3 and 4. And it was a good experience just to be able to deal with those gusts.
At 53, John Morton is old for a rookie and mature enough to respect the big oval. His last race on a super speedway came at Pocono in 1984.
There's no comparison to any other form of racing than oval track IndyCar racing to get you ready for this race.
Morton's plain white car indicates an obvious need of additional sponsorship, but he's grateful for the 5 friends who put together the cash to bring him here.
If you piled up all the parts that I could use for the month here, and it wouldn't be a very big stack. So I'm looking for additional funding to continue the month, but I'm pretty optimistic.
Final phases for the rookie tests begin at Saturday's practice. At the Speedway, I'm Paul Stouter, Indiana's News Channel 13 Sports.
Oh, yes, the Brickyard opens this coming Saturday. Baseball news, Reds and the Cubs wrapped up their weekend get-together, and the grounds crew spent a long day. They had a long day working with the old tarps. Plenty of rain at Riverfront. Cubs jump out front. This is Steve Buechele with the double to right, and it bounces off the wall. That scores 2, 4-0 Chicago. They were looking good. Dave Justice tattooing one right here. Is the Braves looking good today? Justice takes one deep, and with the swing, you knew it was gone. The Cardinals in Atlanta, this guy handing out freebies. The kid will never forget the moment. Look at that smile on the face. Wow, got a baseball. Braves win this ball game thanks to a bad play. Todd Zeile, get down on the ball, son. Right through the wickets. Atlanta wins by 1 on the scoreboard. It's Atlanta winning 4-3, Chicago 4-3, Pittsburgh over Houston, Philly knocks off L.A., the Mets over San Diego, Frisco wins in 11 innings, Colorado and Florida 2-1 your final. The A's and the Indians did battle in Cleveland. Carlos Martinez thrown out of the game, and he heads after the pitcher, Kelly Downs. He figures he's thrown out of the game, he might as well fight. But he's cut down at the line of scrimmage. Elsewhere, the Rangers outfield having some problems. Jose Canseco and Bill Ripken crash. Billy makes the grab and says, Jose, what are you doing? Canseco makes up for it at the plate, though. He hits the long ball, can't catch it, but he can smack it. Rangers roll, they win by 11. On the scoreboard, Boston wins 4-3, Cleveland wins 10-2, Minnesota over Detroit, Baltimore nips Kansas City 4-3, Seattle loses in 10 innings 3-2, Toronto wins 6-1 over the White Sox, Texas 13-2 your final. Finally, on this Sunday night, let's go to the Houston Open golf tourney. Blaine McAllister with a horrible tee shot right here. Horrible. Smacks it right there in the old water. And, of course, that offends all the ducks that are at, they live in that lake. So the ducks, look at this. They invade Payne Stewart, and he has his whole little gallery of ducks. Isn't that incredible? The ducks take over. Jim McGovern wins the tourney with 18 under, and the ducks were glad to see everyone leave, of course. That'd make me mad, too.
Sure, it's our house.
You know, you're in the pool and somebody throws something at you. You go after them.
That's right. Leave
Have
me
a
the
good
heck
week.
alone. All right, thanks, Dave. A couple of consumer interest items on the News Channel tomorrow. At 5, Ann Ryder's Consumer Reports looks at crib safety. And tomorrow night at 11, Bruce Kopp's Kiplinger Money Matters has some tips to help you save on your phone bill. Susan.
Finally tonight, it is something that most of us wouldn't even dream of doing. I mean, after all, giving an iguana mouth-to-mouth resuscitation? Well, a young California boy certainly entertained the idea when his pet iguana lost consciousness. He saved the lizard's life. Take a look.
Rambo is a green iguana, and he enjoys a swim with his owners in their backyard pool. Rambo even slides and dives with the kids. But last week, Rambo sank to the bottom and didn't come up.
It's usual for him to go down to the bottom of the pool on the deep end. But this time he wasn't moving at all or anything.
So Alex and his brother Matthew started CPR on the lizard. Moments later, Rambo still wasn't moving when Dad, who is a doctor, showed up.
And he just tried CPR, and he said he was a goner, but I wouldn't take it, so I kept on trying.
And Rambo's glad he did.
I opened up his mouth like that, and I breathed into it with this.
I don't recall ever having taught him the actual steps in CPR, but somehow he knew what to do. He did the breathing, he did the chest compressions, and it all seemed to work out for the best.
I learned it from the movie Aliens 1.
That's right, 8-year-old Alex learned how to give CPR by watching the motion picture Aliens. How Alex learned CPR isn't really important. The fact that he did saved his friend's life. And Alex and Rambo couldn't be happier. Rick Chambers for NBC News.
Rambo gets a new lease on life.
Quite
Thanks,
a
Alex.
domesticated iguana.
Very.
And
Nice place to swim around,
And a little
too.
movie theme going there. We got the Rambo, the aliens.
That's right.
Kissing that little thing. Well, let's talk about the weather. We have some rain out there right now. We'll show you the radar once again. More is on the way for tomorrow, so watch tomorrow afternoon into the evening hours. There could be some strong thunderstorms. Bob Gregory will be here to keep you posted on that live at 5, so check in with us then.
Get the umbrella.
Thanks, Ben.
Okay, thanks. That's all for this late edition of the news. Thanks for staying up with us.
For the first news of the day, catch sunrise in about 5 hours, 59 minutes. See you later.
Take care.